One of the most common questions I get from business owners is, do Google Ads work for small businesses? And the short answer is that yes, absolutely. Google Ads can work for small businesses, but it doesn't work the way that most small businesses are told to run their ads. So if you try to copy what bigger companies are doing with broader keywords or multiple campaign types, everything turned on all at once, Google will happily spend your budget very quickly and with very little to show for it. So the real problem usually isn't Google Ads, it's the strategy that wasn't built for a small budget in the first place. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, because if you are a small business, you don't have the money to waste testing things just to see what happens. Every dollar has to count. And so in this video, I'll show you how to tell if Google Ads actually makes sense for your business, the exact way that small businesses should structure their campaigns when money is tight, and the few settings and decisions that can quietly waste your budget when they're left on by default. So before we get into the setup, there's one mind shift that you have to make first. Most small businesses turn on Google Ads like a fire hose. Traffic everywhere, clicks pouring in, money draining out fast, and there's no real control over where it's all going. Big companies can't afford that. They can spray money, sort it out later, and let volume soothe things out over time. Small businesses don't have that luxury. A better way to think about Google Ads when your budget is limited is like a faucet. So you turn it on slowly, you control the flow, and every drop has to have a purpose. Google Ads isn't just about getting more traffic, it's about controlling where your traffic comes from and getting the right traffic. And once that's all set, everything else will just flow from that. The first place that most small businesses lose control is their goal. So a lot of businesses say that they just want traffic, impressions, and visibility. But if we're being honest, that's not what you actually need. You need phone calls, you need form submissions, you need appointment requests. So when you don't set clear goals in Google will just fill in the blanks for you, and that gets expensive. So Google can only optimize for what it can measure, which means conversions. So if you don't have your conversion tracking set up, Google is basically guessing. And guessing with a small budget usually means wasted spend. So proper conversion tracking does two things. First, it tells Google when your ads are actually working so you can optimize towards the right people. And second, it lets you see what's driving real leads so that you can double down on what's working and shut off what isn't. So that's how you keep the faucet under control. Next is the campaign type, and this one matters a lot more than most people realize. So if you're a small business, I always recommend starting with a search campaign. Search is where people are actively looking for a solution or a product. You're not interrupting them like you would be with Facebook ads. You're meeting them right when intent is highest and right when they're looking for a solution. This is also where you get the most bang for your budget. And just as important as when you turn on is what you turn off. So display network and search partners sound harmless, but with a small budget, they usually do one of two things: bring in low quality leads or just burn through your money quicker, or both. Turning those off keeps your spend focused on actual searches and not random placements. The same thing happens with location targeting. So by default, Google uses presence or interest, which means your ads can show to people outside your service area who are just interested in your area or researching it. So for local businesses, that is a huge budget killer. So switch your location targeting to presence and only make sure that your ads are showing to people who are actually in or regularly in your service area. So that one setting alone can clean up your lead quality really fast. So now let's talk about keywords. And this is a huge one where budget can disappear really quickly. Broad keywords feel tempting. They feel like more opportunity. But with small budgets, broad keywords are very dangerous. Google will find something to spend your money on, even if the intent is not there. And so that's why I usually recommend starting narrow with your keywords rather than broad. A strong starting point looks like this: 2 or 3 ad groups, 5 to 10 keywords in each ad group. You want to divide those ad groups up by theme of what service you offer. And you generally want to start with exact match. An exact match keeps things really tight and relevant. And you can always open things up later on once you see what's converting and the amount of traffic that you are getting. But if you start too broad, Google will usually use your full daily budget very quickly, and then the data that you get back into your account isn't very helpful. So starting narrow gives you more control, and control is the whole game with small budgets. Even with good keywords, waste still sneaks in if you're not careful. And that's where the negative keywords come in. So negative keywords are basically how you teach Google who you don't want to click on your ad. You're telling it, hey, don't show my ad for people looking for free stuff or jobs or DIY instructions or things that aren't a good fit for my business or who are looking for my competitors. This is one of the biggest budget savers in Google Ads, and it's one of the most overlooked things that most people don't do. So when you regularly review your search terms and add negatives, what you're doing is you're trimming off the fat, you're cutting out irrelevant searches so that most of your budget then goes to the good searches. And every bad search that you block gives you more room for the searches that will actually convert and bring in your ideal clients. Now here's the part a lot of small businesses don't love hearing. Google Ads is not set it and forget it, especially with a small budget. The real gains come from optimization. So turning off keywords that get clicks but no leads, putting more budget to the ones that do convert, making small tweaks to ad copy based on what people are actually responding to. This is where results compound over time. You have the same budget, but better structure and better leads. And that's usually the difference between Google Ads not working for us and this is one of our best lead sources. And one last reality check, because this one does matter. Even the best Google Ads campaign can fail if your website isn't doing its job. If your page loads slow or if there's no clear call to action, if it's hard to use on mobile, the ads are not the problem. Google Ads brings opportunity. Your website or your sales team have to close that loop. So think of it this way. The faucet brings the right people in, but the website or the people answering the phone still have to catch them. Does Google Ads work for small businesses? Yes, when it's done with intention. It's not just about volume, it's about precision. And when you stop trying to run your ads like a big company and start treating your budget like something worth protecting, Google Ads starts to make a lot more sense. And this is where a lot of Google Ads campaigns quietly fall apart. You can do everything right on the ad side, tight keywords, good targeting, clean optimization, and still get mediocre results if your landing page isn't built to convert. Because Google Ads doesn't fail most small businesses at the ad level, it usually fails at the page level. And so that's why in this next video here, I walk through exactly how to build a landing page that turns your clicks into actual leads and what small business pages get wrong, and the few elements that make the biggest difference when traffic is paid. So if you want your ads to actually turn into calls and form fills, click right here and I'll show you how to build the page that makes Google Ads worth it. I'll see you over there.